Let's talk about the April astrology. April is pivotal. It's a new era. We are really going into a brand new beginning. Personally, globally, most of the planets are gathered up in Aries, and it's really going to kick off that brand new beginning for all of us wherever we have the sign of Aries. That really started when Saturn and Neptune both met up at 0 degrees of Aries earlier this year. April 2nd, we have a full moon at 12 degrees of Libra. Full moons are endings. They're completions, but also celebrations. Wherever you have the sign of Libra, this is where something has reached its peak. There's an ending or a big celebration of reaching a milestone in that area of your life. We have all these planets opposing this full moon sitting in the sign of Aries. So this can be a lot of realizations when it comes to this area of your life of what does not work, what you need to release, what you need to let go of. And April 9th is when Mars moves into Aries. That is where all the action starts. That is when we're all going to feel that nothing will ever be the same. Huge, huge changes. April 13th, Mars is conjunct Neptune. And this can really bring in a lot of paranoia, confusion. We could be feeling very tired, low energy. Of course, we could also be romanticizing our life. It is very good if you are working on a creative project, but otherwise we can just feel like we lack the energy from about the 13th to the 16th. April 17th, we have a new moon at 27 degrees of Aries. This is new beginnings in the area of life. You have the sign of Aries. Now, this new beginning can come with a lot of frustration, a lot of personal tests for all of us. From the 17th to the 23rd, we can have a very tense week. April 19th, Mars will conjunct Saturn. There could be anger, frustration, blockages, setbacks, but we may also have a lot of stamina to really go after what it is that we want. April 20th, Mercury will conjunct Saturn, and Mercury will also conjunct Mars. And this is all happening at 7 degrees of Aries. So those of you who have personal planets from 4 to 10 degrees of Aries, Libra, Cancer, Capricorn can have a very intense month where you're going to have to make adjustments, pivot what it is that you wanted to do. That week from the 17th to the 23rd, there could be a lot of arguments, negative thinking, pessimism, setbacks, and big tests in our personal lives. And globally, there could be big escalations in world conflict. April 26th, Uranus will re-enter Gemini. So over the next 8 years, there's going to be big changes to social media, to our communication, our education. With travel, a lot of new technology, a lot of new innovation. We had a little preview of this transit last year. But right now, for the next 8 years, there's going to be a lot of changes coming to the area of life where you have Gemini. Those of you who were born May 21st through May 28th, you guys may experience sudden, unpredictable changes in your life in April, in May, and over the summer. Anything can happen. Anything can change. Your career, what you do, where you live, and there could be a sense of newness, a sense of excitement. It brings out what you really want to do, who you really are. Also, those of you who have personal planets from about 0 to 4 degrees of Gemini or Sagittarius, Virgo, or Pisces, Uranus is going to make contact with those personal planets, especially 0 to 3 degrees. You may start to see these big changes coming into your life out of the blue. Say it's moon, you could start to feel emotionally detached. Women in your life could start acting strangely. This could be a move, a sudden move. If it's sun, it's your health, your vitality, your look, your career. But really anything can change when Uranus makes contact with a personal planet. It could be a new relationship. If it's Venus, it could definitely be a new relationship. Changes to your relationships. Out of the blue, you fall in love. It could even be sudden breakups. Changes to your aesthetic, changes with your money. So huge changes. Uranus is very quick. It's very cutting. You may feel anxious. You have a lot of anxiety. It's hard for you to fall asleep. There's a lot of ideas flowing to you. And life could really change in an instant. A lot of new beginnings could be happening for you guys in April, in May, and over the summer. Let's look at the numerology for April. April is 14-5. It's change, regeneration, innovation. With that new beginning in Aries, Uranus moving back into Gemini, we're all experiencing the end of an era. It's really big changes coming into our lives. 14 in tarot is temperance. It means having patience, moderation, really listening to our inner guidance and knowing when it is that we need to make changes, make adjustments. April is also number 4, which is the card of the Emperor. It's the number of law and order, stability, structure, authority, regulation, organizations. There might be big changes with the law, with regulations, with huge organizations, with global leaders. We can also look to our 4th house for more clues on how April will go. The sign of Cancer, your moon placement. We might be taking on new responsibilities. There might be threats to our security. Our emotions could really be up and down. April 2026 is the beginning of a new era. We're really going to feel that life is completely changing. Globally and even personally, I'm going to get into what this means for your sign and have everything timestamped down below. Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising, April is all about you. The new beginning that you are starting to initiate, which all started when Saturn and Neptune conjunct at 0 degrees of Aries. In March, Venus went over that degree. The Sun went into Aries. And in April, this is where Mars is also going in. So all the planets are situated in your 1st house. It's all about you. You are going to start to see the new beginnings unfolding. You're going to start to take action towards something new this month. Now, the month does start out on April 2nd with a full moon in Libra. This is your 7th house of relationships, partnerships. A full moon is something reaching its peak. This could be a celebration around achieving something big, or an ending. This could be you and a partner celebrating something big, taking a relationship to the next level, celebrating completing something with a business partner. And for some of you, this could be an ending in relationships, reaching the end of the road in a relationship, a business partnership, or even a close friendship. And this could be a little bit challenging. There could be a lot of emotions that come up. We have Saturn, we have Neptune opposite the 7th house. And there could be a lot of realizations about which relationships are just not right for you. So for some of you, it's a time of endings and closure when it comes to close connection, romantic relationships. The first 8-9 days of April, Mars, the planet of anger and action, is still in your 12th house. This can cause insomnia, dreams, nightmares, thinking about the past, feeling withdrawn, like you have less energy. There may be unexpected expenses, issues from the past showing up so that you can deal with them, and maybe even dealing with jealousy, gossip. After the 9th, Mars is in your 1st house all month long. So you are motivated to initiate something new. You're very focused on yourself, but you could be very argumentative, especially in close relationships, and even a little bit frustrated because Mars will meet up with Neptune. It's going to meet up with Saturn. April 13th, Mars will conjunct Neptune. So from the 13th to the 15th, you can be feeling extremely creative, very romantic, also very suspicious, and sometimes even low energy. April 19th, Mars will conjunct Saturn. So from the 19th to the 22nd, you can feel like you have so much endurance, strength, patience to complete any task that you set out to do. But watch out for this one, because from the 19th to the 22nd, there could also be a lot of anger and frustrations, old resentments coming up. Venus, the planet of love and beauty, will be in your second house of finances, possessions, self-worth, all the way until the 24th of April. This is where the joy will come from in the month of April. This means you can enjoy outings, good food, shopping. You're going to want to shop for yourself. This is a time you can buy yourself possessions you're really going to love for a long time to come. After the 24th and moving into May, Venus will be in your third house. This is when you're going to want to go out, socialize, gossip with people, maybe do something online, take up a new skill. April 17th, there is a new moon in your first house. This is where all the planets are gathered. You have Mars, the Sun, Mercury, Neptune, and Saturn all in your first house. And this new moon will activate a brand new beginning in your life path, in your identity. Some of you wanting to change your style, your hairstyle, the way that you look, where you are going in this life. You're going to find yourself drawn to new people, new experiences. And this is the very beginning of you becoming a whole different person. April 26th, Uranus moves back into your third house. So 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th is a chance to find love within your community, online, on dating sites, because Venus is the ruler of relationships for you guys. And it's meeting up with Uranus in your third house of community, online connections. This can be sudden love with someone completely different. And with Uranus being in your third house for the next 7 years, this is where the excitement is coming from. Your community is going to change. The people that live around you will change. Your relationship with your siblings can change. Some of you, this can mean an online presence. Your communication style is changing your routine, exploring and learning completely different skill sets. It could bring a little instability in as well when it comes to third house issues. Those of you who have very early degree placements in Gemini, Sagittarius, Virgo, or Pisces might feel that unexpected things are happening around them. There's a lot of sudden things that are coming into your life, a lot of sudden change. There might be insomnia, nervousness. Say you have Venus right there. This could be sudden love, a new relationship. Big changes within relationships with money. If it's moon, it could be a sudden move, a detaching from old connections, feeling very detached from people. If it's sun, it's your identity, your career. Everything in your life could start to shake up and change for you. It's going to bring out your authentic personality. This is a longer transit, but for those of you with those early degree Gemini placements especially, there may be unpredictable new beginnings, changes happening in your life at the end of April into May. So Aries, April is all about you. You are rediscovering yourself. You are ending relationships that just do not work anymore. You're focusing on yourself. I hope that this was helpful, Aries. Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising. April is about closing out chapters. It's about your health, your mental health, your routines, and work. April 2nd, there is a full moon in the sign of Libra, and this is your 6th house of work, routine, health. A full moon is when something has reached its peak, so we're either celebrating achieving a goal or ending something. Some of you maybe have reached a health and wellness goal now. If you've been thinking about leaving a job, this may be the time to do it. Maybe some of you leave a job or get let go of a job. This can also be a time when coworkers change. People that you work with leave your job. If you are a business owner, this is a time when some employees may leave your business, or you may choose to let go of some employees. The first 2 weeks of April, you're definitely focused on health, work, your routines. Mars, the planet of anger and action, is in your 11th house from the 1st to the 8th. This can bring arguments, disagreements within friendships, with your network circle, or you may be very focused on a group project that involves a lot of people. And some of you, this could be a time when you are more social, you're socializing more. After the 9th and for the rest of April, you have Mars in your 12th house. This can mean you have a hard time falling asleep, insomnia, maybe even nightmares. A lot of overthinking, anxiety keeping you up at night. You may feel withdrawn or like you have less energy after the 9th. There might be unexpected expenses, issues from the past that show up, or you could even be dealing with gossip, jealousy from those around you. You want to really pay attention to April 13th through the 15th. On April 13th, Mars will conjunct with Neptune in your 12th house, and this could have you feeling very creative, very romantic, or very suspicious of people around you. And this could also add to that low energy feeling like you don't really want to do anything. And pay attention to April 19th through the 22nd. April 19th, Mars will conjunct Saturn. This gives you a ton of endurance and strength and patience to achieve any goal that you set out to do. But at the same time, this brings up a lot of anger, frustration, repressed emotions could come to the surface. And this is your 12th house. So we're dealing with past issues coming back. So you want to be more careful around that because a lot of anger and frustrating feelings can be coming to the surface. April 17th, we have a new moon in the sign of Aries, and this is where Saturn and Neptune met up at 0 degrees of Aries. All the planets are gathered there on that new moon. We've got Mercury, we've got the Sun, we've got Neptune, Saturn, and Mars joins in, which will act like that trigger to start off this brand new beginning you are initiating. This is the beginning of you releasing all of your destructive patterns. This new moon is going to really shed light on how you self-sabotage yourself, what you do to really get in your own way. Sometimes the things that we blame people for when a new moon comes to the 12th house, we have realizations that some things were our fault, our responsibility. And this is a great time to change all that, change your sleep patterns. It's that time when you figure out how to let go of your fears, obsessions, and anxieties. A perfect time to let go of any negative habits, especially negative ways that you escape reality. And this is also about leaving the past behind. Finally, letting go, releasing the past. So the second 2 weeks of April, you're dealing with your subconscious issues. They come to the forefront so that you could release them. Almost all month long, from the 1st until the 24th, your ruler, Venus, is in your first house. A lot of you might attract a romantic relationship. This is a time when you want to beautify yourself. You're more charming and people are attracted to you. Excellent time to go shopping, get a new haircut, update your look in some way. After the 24th and going into May, Venus will be in your second house. But for those few days, 24th, 25th, 26th, Venus is going to meet up with Uranus. This could mean sudden love, sudden attractions when you're out and about. And Venus being in your second house after the 24th means this is the time to enjoy outings, food, shopping. This is a time when you can buy yourself something you'll enjoy for a long time to come. And because Uranus is going to join your second house there, Taurus, this also means that you could be shopping for things that you weren't drawn to before, something completely different. April 26th, Uranus will re-enter your second house. Over the next 7 years, Uranus is going to change your money habits, your self-worth. Your values will change. What you find valuable might completely change. So letting go of possessions, changing a job, your income changing. Income might be unstable at times. Sometimes it could go way up, sometimes way down. Uranus could liberate you from certain financial responsibilities. There's a lot of shifts when it comes to your self-worth, your money, your possessions, your values that will change over the next 7 years. Those of you who have personal planets from about 0 to 4 degrees of Gemini, Sagittarius, Virgo, or Pisces can feel that things are changing very fast in their life. There's a lot of disruptions, a lot of excitement, or even anxiety. And Uranus changes come out of the blue. So those of you who have personal planets in early mutable signs, you can feel that there's changes coming on in April, in May. A lot of Taurus risings can have planets in Gemini. Say it's moon, you could be feeling very emotionally detached. Females around you might be acting erratically. It could be a sudden move, a move to a different place. If it's sun, it's your core identity, your job, the way that you look. Anything can change. If it's Venus, it's suddenly falling in love. It could even be a sudden breakup, a sudden marriage. It is a change in money and relationships. The good news is Uranus has left your first house. So when it comes to your relationships, if they've been unstable, if you've had people go in and out of your life, relationships were not working out, this will finally leave your energy now because Uranus is going into your second house. So your relationships will be able to be more stable. You'll be able to form stronger, stable bonds. So now you can have a better grasp on your relationships, on your business partnerships. I hope that this was helpful, Taurus. Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This is a huge month for you, a big turning point as Uranus is going to enter your first house, your sign. The month starts out with a full moon on April 2nd in your fifth house. This could be you releasing a creative project, something that you have put a lot of heart and energy in, and now you could be reaping the benefits. This can also mean that you are ending a romantic relationship. Those of you who have children, this can mean that your children are reaching a milestone. During the first 2 weeks of April, you're going to really be immersed in your hobbies, having fun, or spending time with your children. From the 1st to the 8th, you are really working on your career, advancing in your career, working a lot harder. Watch out for problems with people of authority, your bosses, your superiors. April 9th, Mars will move into Aries, your 11th house. So from the 9th, for the rest of April, it's all about friendships. It's all about socializing. And this is really what the month is all about. It's that new beginning that started initiating with the presence of Saturn and Neptune conjuncting at 0 degrees of Aries. And now in April, all the planets are gathering in the 11th house. This is where the new beginning is as well with that new moon. A lot of you could be really focused on a group project from the 9th going forward. Friendships are changing. There could be some disagreements with an older sibling within a friendship circle, or maybe a disagreement with a friend. A lot of you guys are really working hard on your future goals, your future plans, talking to people, you're socializing, working on projects, some of you even gaining recognition. April 17th, we have a new moon, a new beginning in your 11th house. A lot of you are meeting new friends. You're joining new organizations, new clubs. For some of you, this is realizing what it is that you want for your future. You are changing what it is that you want for your future. New plans, new goals, meeting new people, socializing, new friendships, maybe friends introduce you to influential people. This is the perfect time, Gemini, to manifest, visualize exactly what it is that you want for your future. April 19th, Mars will conjunct with Saturn. There can be a lot of anger, frustration. This may be disagreements with friends, with a social circle that you belong to, but this can give a lot of stamina to really complete any and all tasks that you have. April 20th, Mercury conjuncts Saturn, and Mercury also conjuncts Mars. This can also lead to pessimism, negative thinking, arguments, harsh words that are exchanged between people. April is pivotal. It's a new era, a new beginning when all the planets meet up in Aries. But there's going to be a lot of tests. A lot of us can have a lot of frustrating situations come up in our lives. Let's talk about Venus for a little bit. This is what brings you joy, what brings you happiness. And for the first 24 days, you have Venus in your 12th house. And this means that you might be releasing past hurts, frustrations, grudges, enjoying some alone time, shopping, self-care, or you could even be revisiting relationships from the past. Past people can come back into your life, past romantic partners. On the 24th, Venus goes into your sign. This is when you are attracting people into your life. You are more charming, an excellent time to completely change your style. get a new haircut, get a new wardrobe. And for the first few days, when Venus is in your first house, it's going to meet up with Uranus. This is huge for you guys. This could mean sudden love, suddenly falling in love, suddenly changing who it is that you are, where you are going. April 26th, Uranus goes back into Gemini, where it's going to stay for the next 7 years. Those of you who are born May 21st to May 28th are already feeling this. If you have personal planets from 0 to 3 or 4 degrees in Gemini, unexpected things could be happening in your life. You could be going through a lot of anxiety. A lot of sudden shifts can happen in your life that really move you in a new direction. And really, anyone who has planets from 0 to 4 degrees of Gemini, Sagittarius, Virgo, or Pisces could be going through a lot of changes, unexpected changes. If it's Venus, it's relationships. If it's Sun, it's your image, your career, your health, where you're going in this life, your path. If it's Moon, you could be getting emotionally detached from past circumstances, a big move, family changes. For the next 7 years, Gemini, you guys are bringing out your authentic personality, and this will align you with your authentic path. You may suddenly detach from the life that you've been living and go on to something else. You may suddenly detach from certain people in your life and go on to something else. Relationships may change. You may attract people that are completely different from you. A lot of you might even choose careers you never even imagined going into. I hope that this was helpful, Gemini. Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising, we start out April with a full moon on April 2nd in the sign of Libra. This is your 4th house of home and family, and you could be decluttering, throwing out, getting rid of stuff that you no longer want in your home. For some of you, this could actually mean moving, selling a vehicle, or for some of you, this could be a big achievement that is achieved, such as buying your first home, moving, buying a vehicle, a celebration within a family. The 4th house is the house of happiness. It's the house of fortune. So a lot of you could be releasing right now what it is that makes you feel unhappy. Releasing the past, releasing negative patterns. The first 2 weeks of April, there is a big focus on home, family, and family connections. From the 1st to the 8th, Mars is still in your 9th house. So you could be learning, teaching a skill. You could be doing something for school, learning other subjects. Now, on the 9th, Mars will go into your 10th house. And I know we've been talking about this new beginning that's happening in your 10th house. That all started off when Neptune and Saturn met up at 0 degrees of Aries. But now everything is joining in as Mars joins Saturn. It joins Neptune in April. There's a huge focus on your career, your public image. A lot of you are working extra hard at work. There can be frustrations or even confusion when it comes to work or your image. As Mars meets up with Neptune on the 13th and it meets up with Saturn. But this is your big focus. It's work, advancing in your career, working harder. There might be issues or problems with bosses, people of authority. And April 17th, there is a brand new beginning. We have a new moon in your 10th house. So this could literally be a new job, a promotion. Some of you could be getting a new boss, new coworkers, starting your own business, or planting the seeds of starting something of your own. Let's talk about Venus. Venus is joy. It's our happiness. And from the 1st to the 24th, it's in your 11th house. So working on your future hopes and dreams, buying something that you have really wanted, socializing, hanging out with friends, maybe getting on social media. This is what's going to bring you a lot of joy and fulfillment in April. After the 24th, Venus shifts into your 12th house, where withdrawing a little bit, spending some time alone is going to bring you more joy. But Venus is going to meet up with Uranus at the end of the month, and this could be sudden love, suddenly changing your style, suddenly buying yourself something that brings you a lot of joy, or it could even just be a relationship from the past that comes back into your life, since it is the 12th house. 12th house does deal with past things. And the huge thing this month, on the 26th, Uranus goes back into your 12th house, where over the next 7 years, you are going to have Uranus really interacting with you behind the scenes. You may get these sparks of creativity that come to you, creative ideas that come to you. So pay attention to symbolism, pay attention to your dreams. This could be about art, about starting a new business. You're going to get a lot of creative downloads. And Uranus is quick. It's very cutting. So things that have been bothering you, past situation, past trauma, you can finally release them. You can deal with anxiety, mental health, or bad habits in new ways. Letting go of negative habits in a very quick way. Foreign travel, meditation, or you can get a lot of downloads. Even psychic abilities can come to you while Uranus is transiting the 12th house. You can feel connected to the outside sources, connected to other realms. As Uranus transits your 12th house, you may also change your sleep patterns. Maybe stay up at night, become more of a night owl, have a harder time falling asleep. This may also lead to changes with work, with routine, with your health habits, as it's opposing your 6th house. It's a very long transit, but it will be most noticeable when Uranus makes contact with a personal planet. Those of you who are born May 21st through May 28th, or you have personal planets from about 0 to 3 or 0 to 4 degrees, especially in Gemini, the conjunction, but even in Sagittarius, Virgo, or Pisces, there could be sudden shifts coming into your life, plans changing out of the blue, and it could start in April and throughout the summer. If it's sun, this could mean that your job, your career is changing, your identity is changing, your looks, your health in a major way. If it's moon, you may feel extremely detached. You may notice females around you acting a little bit more erratically. Your emotions could be up and down, and this could signify a move, maybe even out of the blue. If it's Venus, it could be sudden love, sudden breakups, sudden relationship changes to your aesthetics, to your money. So if you do have personal planets in Gemini, just watch the degrees. The closer it gets to the planet, the more changes you will see in your life. The good news is Uranus has officially left your 11th house, which means you're going to have more concrete plans for your future. And you can finally start building more stable friendships while Uranus adds a lot of spark, creativity, and a lot of fun. It can seem that wherever Uranus is transiting, there is less stability. So a lot of you might have had less stability within friendships, within the groups that you join over the last 7 years or so, and now you could build more solid foundations within groups, within friendships, with your future goals, your future plans. I hope that this was helpful, Cancer. Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising, we're going to start April off with a full moon in Libra, which is your 3rd house, meaning you can have a big mindset shift, taking a trip, or changes in your daily routines. Your neighborhood could be changing, your neighbors are changing, your local community is starting to feel different. This full moon may also emphasize a need to educate yourself further on a specific skill set. There could be a change in your siblings' lives or your relationship with your siblings. Neptune and Saturn are opposing this full moon, which means there can be some confusion or something that was confusing that is revealed, or you may feel restricted in some way. And that's what's going to push these changes to your mindset, changes to update your skill set, or a big shift in your routine. The first 8 days of April, you have Mars still in your 8th house, which means you could be dealing with issues of the past. Taxes, insurance, money, and joint responsibility can be a theme. April 9th, Mars will move into your 9th house. And this is where a brand new beginning is happening. And it was already initiated when Saturn and Neptune met up at 0 degrees of Aries. Now Mars is joining in. This can bring up some frustration, especially with learning, school, teachers, restrictions, challenges with court or legal battles, some hiccups in immigration, passport paperwork, issues with traveling, publishing your work in some way, publishing a book, publishing content, or even learning something new. When Mars meets up with Saturn and Neptune, there can be confusion and frustration in this area, but this is the theme for the month. The period from April 13th to about April 22nd, 23rd can be extremely testing on all of us all over the world. From the 13th through the 16th, you may feel low energy. It's really great for creative, romantic pursuits, but there can also be a lot of confusion, delusion. April 19th, Mars will conjunct Saturn. On the 20th, Mars will conjunct Mercury. And this can really test your patience, your endurance. There could be a lot of anger, frustrations, a lot of arguments, disagreements, harsh words that are exchanged. So it is a testing period. On April 17th, we have a new moon in your 9th house. There could be new beginnings in the life of your father, planning a new trip, going somewhere new. Maybe you are entering a new course of study. You pick up a new book that broadens your horizons, teaches you something new and important. Or maybe some of you are teaching, you're deciding to teach or maybe publish your work, but there is a brand new beginning here happening towards the end of April. Now let's look at Venus. Venus is what brings us love and happiness and pleasure. For the first 24 days of the month, Venus is in your 10th house, working on your career. Your goals, being seen is what's going to give you a lot of joy. Some of you, this can mean a raise or just being more in the public eye. Your work is seen and appreciated, and you just pouring into your work is really going to bring you a lot of enjoyment. After April 24th, Venus will shift into your 11th house. This means socializing, social media, working on your future goals, buying something you've always wanted, but mostly socializing and friendships is what's going to bring you a lot of enjoyment. And on the 26th, Uranus re-enters your 11th house. So towards the end of the month, when Venus meets up with Uranus in your 11th house, it could be sudden love, suddenly finding a group or a friendship that is completely different than you've had before can happen around those days. But especially meeting somebody out of the blue, for those of you who are single, maybe a friend introduces you, you meet at a club, a group that you go to. Now, Uranus will be in your 11th house for the next 7 years. This means there could be friendships that come into your life that are different than the ones that you've had before. There could also be a breakup or separation with certain friends that you've been friends with for a long time, changing the groups that you belong to, completely changing the hopes and dreams for your future. Your future visions can change. This can also catapult you into fame. The 11th house is the house of fame. It's the house of gains. Those of you who are online, you're on social media, you can gain a lot of followers, become more popular. So over the next 7 years, your social circle, your friendships will drastically change. Uranus can bring things into your life in a very surprising way that you would have never imagined. I hope that this was helpful, Leo. Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. We have a full moon in Libra in your 2nd house on April 2nd. Saturn and Neptune are opposing your 2nd house now. So there could be some confusion or also restriction, delays when it comes to money. It may even feel like the month of April, you're really thinking about finances, joint responsibilities. That's a big theme for you in April. Some of you, maybe you have reached a financial goal or you make a big purchase around the full moon. Buying, selling possessions. Some of you are going to become very serious about budgeting, spending money, your money habits. A financial matter could really come to the forefront. Some of you could be releasing a source of income, having a job, career change. Your income can be changing in a big way. So finances are going to be at the forefront for April. The month of April is all about transformation and spiritual healing. The first 8 days of April, Mars is still in your seventh house. So there can be relationship issues, maybe arguments, disagreements, or just to focus on relationships the first 8 days of April. April 9th, Mars will enter Aries, and this is that whole new beginning, your 8th house, where Saturn and Neptune met up at 0 degrees of Aries earlier this year, and all these planets are in your 8th house, and Mars is going to conjunct Neptune, it's going to conjunct Saturn, it's going to initiate this new beginning for you. This means that the past can come up to be dealt with, and everything from trauma, emotions, past relationship issues is coming up to the forefront so you can deal with things in a new way. There can also be issues with money, joint finances, taxes, maybe an accountant, insurance policies, things like that that you need to square away or work on. But for a lot of you, this is about emotional healing, healing from loss or past things that were traumatic that transpired. A lot of you might really get into studying occult subjects, mysticism, astrology, tarot. You may get into these studies so that you can understand yourself better and really release the past. So there's a lot of inner work that you are going to do in the month of April. So April is all about inner work, and it's also about money, finances, and joint responsibilities. The chores and responsibilities that you share with another person, with other people in your life. You are going to become aware of where you give too much of yourself away, where other people just do not match your energy. April can really feel like a testing period, but specifically from April 13th to about the 23rd. April 13th is when Mars will conjunct Neptune. This can bring confusion, deception. We can be feeling very much like we have low energy. There can be a lot of confusion, delusion, maybe even paranoia. And this is not just for you guys. This is really for everybody. April can be very much testing all of us. Then April 19th, Mars will conjunct Saturn. And April 20th, Mercury conjunct Saturn, and Mercury will conjunct with Mars. So there could be heated arguments, a lot of negative pessimism, anger, frustration. So you want to watch out for that mid-April time. This can bring in a lot of tension, a lot of frustration. And April 17th, we have a new moon in the sign of Aries. This is your 8th house of transformation, joint finances. This will activate new beginnings related to shared resources, shared responsibilities. Maybe you and a partner are doing something new when it comes to your money, your responsibilities together. Signing new contracts, getting new loans, an inheritance. Some of you may hire a new therapist, counselor, an accountant, maybe even a new astrologer. Start really diving into all the metaphysical subjects. A lot of you can strengthen your intimate relationships at this time as well. Whatever it is that's going on, the middle of the month is really going to have you focus on responsibilities, money, healing, joint ventures, occult knowledge, really understanding yourself, digging deep into your past wounds. Let's talk about Venus. Venus is our joy, our happiness. For the first 24 days of April, Venus is in your 9th house. This means the joy will come from trips, planning trips, immersing yourself in new knowledge, books, documentaries, watching people from all different walks of life, different cultures, trying out different food, different music, visiting museums, making content. Maybe some of you are working on a book, teaching, learning. All of this is what's going to bring you a lot of enjoyment in the first 24 days of April. On the 24th, Venus enters Gemini, and this means that work, being seen, working on a work project, working on your business ideas, that will bring you joy and happiness from the 24th going into May. And Venus is going to meet up with Uranus there in your 10th house. A lot of you, this is a time where you could be visibly seen. Think starting a new business, starting a new line of work, recognition, promotions, as well as falling in love, meeting somebody out of the blue, getting a new business idea because Venus does rule your 2nd house of income. April 26th, Uranus will re-enter your 10th house, and this is huge. All the way until 2033, you're going to have Uranus in your 10th house. This is the house of your career, your reputation. A lot of you could change jobs, start businesses, get into a line of work that you never even seen or imagined you could be in. This could be sudden fame, sudden change of work. I mean, for some of you, you can suddenly maybe get let go of a job, leave a job. And this is all to really open you up to your true calling. Uranus really brings out our authentic self. It brings out things we really want to do, but sometimes are too scared to initiate. And Uranus could be very cutting. It's like out of the blue, you're doing something else. Out of the blue, you get fired. Out of the blue, you start a new job, you start a business. You go viral on social media. You attract a lot of attention. Those of you who were born May 21st through May 28th, or you have planets from 0 to 3 or 4 degrees of Gemini, but even 0 or 4 degrees of Sagittarius, Virgo, or Pisces, you will see huge shifts coming into your life, things happening out of the blue. Say it's moon you have there. It could be a sudden move. You feel extremely detached from people. Maybe you even feel that females around you are acting erratically. If it's sun, a career shift, a shift with your health, with the way that you look, you could start looking completely different, meet new people, fall in love out of the blue. Your whole life can change, and it could start in April, but especially from April to the summer, you're going to start to feel these changes. You could feel anxious. Maybe it's hard for you to fall asleep. You have all these ideas coming to you. If it's Venus, it's money, it's your aesthetic, it's your relationships that can change out of the blue. Regardless of what's happening, your 10th house is really the house where Uranus is going to change radically over the next 7 years, which means it's your career, your reputation. The 10th house is not just career and reputation. It is what you do on a daily basis. Some of you maybe are retired. You want to come out of retirement to do something you're passionate about. Some of you, maybe you're becoming a stay-at-home mom, or maybe you're going from being a stay-at-home mom to working, to a career, to a business. Whatever it is that people know you for, that's what could change. And this could drastically change over the next few years. So a lot of you, if you're feeling like you want to start something, you want to go into a new career, this is the perfect time to do it. To try out new ideas. This is also opposing your 4th house. So a lot of you over the next few years could move, settle into a new area, a new town, maybe move completely somewhere that you never thought you would. So big changes coming for you, Virgos. I hope that this was helpful for you. Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising. April is going to start off with a full moon on April 2nd in your sign, in your 1st house. It's going to oppose all the action taking place in your 7th house, where we have Neptune, we have Saturn. So this month is all about you, where you are going, and your relationships. And the full moon in your 1st house is releasing old parts of your identity, personality, or habits, getting ready to make big life changes with your health, with your looks. You can feel a little bit depleted, low energy around the full moon. It's all about forgiveness, letting go of past issues, releasing any toxic people or situations from your life. And some of you, it could be a huge celebration, because full moons can bring on big celebrations. Maybe you are celebrating reaching a big milestone, a big change, a new career path, a new relationship. But mostly it's about releasing what no longer serves you, old outdated patterns. Now, the first 8 days of April, Mars is still in your 6th house, so there could be issues with work, colleagues. People at work could be getting on your nerves. Some of you, this could be the beginning of a new relationship. Remember, this is where Saturn and Neptune met up at 0 degrees of Aries. In April, this is where all the planets gather. Mars is going to meet up with Saturn. It's going to meet up with Neptune. And this is also where we are having the new moon. On the 17th, there is a brand new beginning in your 7th house. This could mean a new business partnership. A new relationship comes into your life, taking a relationship to the next level. Marriage, engagement. Those of you who are in a relationship, you're married, this could mean that there's a new beginning in your partner's life, or you two are initiating something together. A lot of you might meet somebody new that's very meaningful for a long time to come. But because Mars is in your relationship house, all of April, it's going to meet up with Saturn. There can be conflict when it comes to relationships, arguments, disagreements. If you find yourself really arguing with a partner, a spouse, it's good to do more active things together. That's what Mars wants. It wants action. April 13th, Mars will conjunct Neptune. There's also a possibility that there is some confusion in a relationship. You might think it's going this way, but it's really not the reality. There's also a possibility that secrets come to the forefront. So if you or your partner are keeping secrets from each other, then this is the month where secrets can be revealed. April 19th, Mars will conjunct with Saturn, and April 20th, Mercury conjunct Saturn. Mercury will also conjunct Mars. This is when we could have a lot of anger, frustration, arguments within relationships from the 13th to the 22nd. There could be a lot of frustrating situations that come up in our lives. Let's talk about Venus. This is what gives us happiness, what gives us joy, and Venus is your ruling planet. And it will be in your 8th house until the 24th of April. So learning occult knowledge, healing, and maybe even completely transforming your look because of that full moon that you have in your 1st house and your ruling planet going into the 8th. A lot of you guys are completely transforming your style, the way that you look. Some of you could benefit from other people's money, even gifts, inheritances, connect more intimately with a spouse or partner. Or for some of you, this could just be healing from past wounds, past relationship wounds, or from the past. After the 24th of April and going into May, Venus will be in your 9th house. So traveling, tasting different food, listening to different music, books, documentaries, learning, teaching, that's what's going to bring you enjoyment. And Venus will also meet up with Uranus at the end of the month. This can mean sudden love, especially if you're going on a trip, you're traveling. You could meet someone sporadically, meet someone through a class, through online. April 26th, Uranus re-enters your 9th house. Uranus is going to be in your 9th house for almost the next 8 years. This means travel, moving. A lot of you could go back to school, maybe produce content, write a book, publish your work in some way. Uranus always helps us awaken our authentic self, who we really are, and it brings it out. And over the course of the next 8 years, it is really going to break apart your belief systems. So your belief systems can change. Your religious beliefs, your philosophical beliefs, even your political beliefs can change. A lot of you will feel that you are being called to learn something, to teach something, to travel to exotic places, maybe even move for some of you. Those of you who were born May 21st through May 28th have personal planets from 0 to 4 degrees of Gemini, Sagittarius, Virgo, or Pisces. You guys can see a lot of sudden changes occurring from now on until this summer. If it's your sun, it's your career, your look, where you are going in this life, your health. If it's Venus, it could be sudden relationship changes for you guys. Moon, it could mean feeling detached. It could mean a big move. So this month really does initiate huge new beginnings for everyone. It's like a new era. And for you guys, the new beginnings are happening in your 9th house area of learning, travel, belief systems, and your relationships, your business partnerships, your close connections. I hope that this was helpful, Libra. Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. April 2nd, we have a full moon in the sign of Libra. This is your 12th house, the house of self-undoing. And a lot of things from the past may come back into your life at this point. And with Neptune and Saturn opposing this full moon, you may feel like there's a lot of confusion around certain situations when it comes to work, health, your mental health. Or it may feel that there is a lot of blockages and restrictions in your life right now. Painful memories of the past, grudges that you've been holding on to, it's time to release those. Your mental health is very much highlighted. You may feel very much withdrawn and want alone time, especially the first week of April. but it's an excellent time to release old frustrations, bad habits. The huge focus, the huge new beginning in April is matters of the sixth house, which is health, work, and routine. The first 8 days of April, you have Mars in your fifth house. So you could be focused on love, romance, a creative project, hanging out with your children, those of you who have children. April 9th, Mars moves into the sixth house, and this is where the new beginning was initiated with the conjunction of Saturn and Neptune, and all the planets are gathering in your sixth house, Scorpio. This is also the same area that we are having a new moon on April 17th, meaning there's a brand new beginning coming into this area of your life. This could be a new job, new employees, new coworkers, letting go of negative habits, starting a new diet plan, a new workout routine. Some of you, maybe even a special pet comes into your life. Mars will meet up with Neptune. It will meet up with Saturn. So there could actually be some challenges, some confusion, frustrations during April when it comes to work, coworkers, employees, those of you who own a business. This new beginning could be initiated because of these frustrations. There's something that isn't quite right, something's not working, so you need to change something when it comes to your health, your routine, your work, your environment. So a lot of you will be really making these big changes, especially when it comes to your health, your work, your routine. Let's get into Venus. Venus is the planet that gives us joy. It gives us happiness. And for you, it is the ruler of your relationships. And for the first 24 days in April, it's sitting in your seventh house, meaning close bonds with a partner, with a spouse, is what's going to bring you a lot of enjoyment. Spending time with a partner. Some of you, this can mean a new relationship comes into your life, especially if you're single. It's a great time to date, to put yourself out there. This is also fantastic for attracting new clients, business partners. If you own a business, you're going to be more charming, more magnetic, and this is going to attract a lot of people to you, Scorpio. April 24th is when Venus moves into your eighth house. The last week of April, Venus is going to conjunct with Uranus in your eighth house. This could mean sudden gains, suddenly falling in love. Your partner starts making more money. This could also mean gifts, money coming to you from other people. And this could come in surprising ways. So from the 24th going into May, what's going to bring you a lot of enjoyment is studying occult, mystical subjects, learning more about yourself, maybe having more intimacy with a partner, a spouse. April 26th is when Uranus re-enters Gemini. So for almost the next 8 years, you're going to have the planet Uranus in your eighth house of shared resources. And this is the area of life where there's going to be a lot of changes. This could mean changes to your partner's income, changes in the way that you share money, the exchange of energy. Does somebody give too much? Does somebody give too little? When it comes to responsibilities of the home, responsibilities when it comes to money, taxes, loans, insurance plans, or even stocks. So there could be a lot of changes in these areas. This is also where you could be led to counseling, therapy, studying occult knowledge, tarot, astrology, human design, something that really helps you dig into the psyche. It is a long transit, and it will be mostly felt when it makes aspects to your natal planets. So right now, if you have any personal planets from 0 to 4 degrees of Gemini, Sagittarius, Virgo, or Pisces, you may start to see radical changes unfolding in your life in April over the summer, because Uranus is that planet that really brings things to us to change our lives out of the blue. Big changes, job changes, a move, relationship changes, and they could come out in very exciting ways or just things happening really fast. other than that, you're going to feel Uranus there in the background, just making tweaks in your life through occult knowledge, through money, through finance, through self-worth, through the energy exchange with a partner or spouse. All these things are changing because you are evolving right now. So you could be making a lot of changes when it comes to your daily routine, what it is that you're responsible for, money, loans, the way that you make money, the way that you spend money. You're going to start to see that you're going to want to start making big changes in these areas of life over the next few years. But the huge focus in April is really work routine, health, employees, coworkers, and your daily habits. That's really what you're going to focus on in April. I hope that this was helpful for you, Scorpio. Sagittarius, sun, moon, and rising. We start April out with a full moon in the sign of Libra. This is your 11th house of friendships. This full moon can bring a lot of changes to your social circle, your social network. It could be an ending with a friendship changing in some way, you walking away from certain clubs or activities that you are involved with other people. A full moon could also mean that you are finished with a group project, celebrating a very important milestone in your life, maybe even getting something you've always wanted. The 11th house is the house of hopes and dreams, so some of you could be celebrating. And for some of you, you could completely change who you follow on social media, what you consume on social media, making a big change with not only the people that are around you physically, but also the kind of content you consume. From the 1st to the 8th, you still have Mars in your 4th house. So just like in March, the focus is on home projects, car repairs. Watch out for family arguments, disagreements. April 9th, Mars enters Aries, and this is really initiating that new era for you, the new beginning that started off when Saturn conjunct Neptune, the beginning of this year. That is the huge focus, the 5th house area, which is children, romance, creativity, creative projects, hobbies. All the planets are gathered in your 5th house. So the month is about working on creative projects, being more creative, having more fun. There could be a new romance that begins for a lot of you. Some of you could even be investing your money into new investments. Those of you who have children, your children may act up or be more argumentative this month, so do watch out for this. On April 17th, there is a new moon in your 5th house. So not only are all these planets gathered in your 5th house, but this is also where the new beginning is. This can mean that you start a new creative hobby that brings you a lot of joy, a new creative project. You're going to start to prioritize having fun, having more pleasure in your life. This can also mean that your children are starting something new. There's a new beginning in the life of your children. And for a lot of you, around the 17th, towards the end of April, this is a new romance, a new relationship that comes into your life. From about the 18th to the 23rd, this is a testing period. There could be a lot of anger, frustration, arguments. April 19th, Mars conjunct Saturn, which can bring in heated discussions, a lot of frustrations. On the 20th, Mercury conjunct Saturn, and Mercury conjuncts Mars. So watch out for this time period because this can bring up lots of heated arguments, negative thinking, pessimism. Now let's talk about Venus. Venus is what brings us joy. It's what brings us happiness. And for the first 24 days of April, it's sitting in your 6th house of work, routine, health. Those of you who own a business, it's a great time to find new employees. You may notice better relationships with coworkers. Some of you can even get a new pet. Diets, workout routines, self-care routines will bring enjoyment. On the 24th, Venus will enter your 7th house. This means from the 24th of April going into May, a lot of you will focus your energy on dating. You can meet somebody new. A new relationship could spark out of the blue. At the very end of the month, Venus meets up with Uranus in your 7th house. This can mean a romance happens out of the blue with someone completely different. So huge romantic changes coming to you, Sagittarius, towards the end of April. April 26th, Uranus enters your 7th house. This means for the next 8 years, Uranus is going to bring a lot of excitement into your dating life. Sometimes a little instability too. You can attract partners who are completely different from you. Relationships can start and end suddenly. And that's all relationships, not just romantic. That's business relationships, relationships with clients. Those of you who work with clients, you work in a public space. A lot of you could start wanting, craving freedom in your relationships, different experiences. Those of you who have personal planets from 0 to 4 degrees of Gemini, maybe a birthday from May 21st to May 28th, very early degree Sagittarius risings, or maybe you have planets from 0 to 4 degrees of not just Gemini, but Sagittarius, Virgo, or Pisces, you can experience sudden changes starting as early as April all throughout the summer. Those of you who have that very early degree Sagittarius rising, this can mean sudden changes in relationships, in your partnerships, suddenly falling in love, maybe some of you suddenly leaving a relationship. This can start as soon as April. This can start in April going into the summer. Over the next 8 years, mostly it will be felt when it makes contact with a personal planet, but you can experience a lot of freedom, liberation when it comes to your relationship area. Meeting and connecting with completely different people than you have before. But what April is mostly about is that new 5th house beginning, which means more fun, more pleasure. Maybe even a new romantic relationship will enter your life in April or May. New creative projects and spending time with your children. I hope that this was helpful for you, Sagittarius. Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising, we start April off with a full moon in the sign of Libra on the 2nd, and that's your 10th house of recognition, career. A full moon can bring endings and celebrations for something that you have been working really hard for. Some of you could be celebrating getting a job, getting a promotion, getting something seen that you have been working very hard on, celebrating a big career milestone. Others of you could be ending a certain job or career, retirement, leaving a job, getting let go of a job. This can also mean that bosses, superiors, people you work with are changing. Some are walking away and new ones are coming in. So this full moon really marks a big redirection in your career, what you hope to do in the future. And the first week of April could really be focused on your job, your career. From the 1st to the 8th, you still have Mars in your 3rd house. You're going to be focused on learning new skill sets. You're going out more, you're communicating more with other people. April 9th, Mars shifts into your 4th house. And this is really going to kick off that new beginning that was initiated when Neptune and Saturn conjunct together earlier this year. All the planets are in your 4th house. We've got Sun, Mercury, Neptune, Saturn, and Mars. So the focus in April is home and family. You could be working on a home project, maybe even renovations, repairs, redecorating. Watch out for arguments, disagreements with family members, with the mother. April 17th, there is a new moon in your 4th house of home and family, and this could be a new addition to the family, a move, buying a new vehicle, expanding your home, expanding your family in some way. Mars will meet up with Mercury. It's going to meet up with Neptune. It's going to meet up with Saturn. So from the 13th till about the 23rd, there can be pessimism, negative thinking, arguments, or a lot of frustrations when it comes to home, family. Things can break in the home, or there might even be problems with vehicles, vehicle repairs. Let's talk about Venus. Venus is always what brings us joy and happiness. Anytime it transits a house, it's where we find joy and happiness throughout the month. And for the first 24 days of April, Venus is in your 5th house. This means that children, fun, pleasure, hobbies is what's going to bring you a lot of joy. This can also mean a new romance starts for a lot of you Capricorns. If you are single, it's an excellent time to put yourself out there, to date, to meet somebody new, to work on a hobby, to work on a creative project. April 24th, Venus will go into your 6th house. From the end of April going into May, organization, self-care, diet, exercise regimens, all of that can bring you a lot of enjoyment, better working relationships with coworkers. That very last week of April, Venus meets up with Uranus. This means there could be sudden attractions, suddenly falling in love, meeting somebody, relationship changes. April 26th, Uranus re-enters Gemini. This is your 6th house of work, health, routine. Now, those of you who have personal planets from 0 to 4 degrees of Gemini, Sagittarius, Virgo, or Pisces, you guys may have a lot of sudden changes in your lives that starts April, May, or over this summer. For the next 8 years, Uranus will just be there in the background trying to really change up your daily routine, how you work with people, who you work with, how you take care of your health. Now, the changes are really going to be felt when Uranus conjuncts a personal planet. But this means that over the next 8 years, you guys are really going to want to change up your daily routine, change up your working environment. Some of you might want to change jobs completely, go into a new career, work with new people, take on a whole new exercise regimen, maybe even get a new pet. A lot of you could be really switching up the way that you eat as well. It is a long-term transit, but you can feel the subtle changes happening around April, May already. But for you guys, the big focus is home, family, renovations, home projects, celebrations within the family. But watch out for that mid-April period. There could be a lot of frustrations around then. And because Venus is in your 5th house, it's also a month where you're really going to enjoy yourself more, have more pleasure, more romance, more fun. I hope that this was helpful for you, Capricorn. Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising, April 2nd, there is a full moon in Libra. This is happening in your 9th house, and there could be a lot of spiritual, philosophical breakthroughs that you are having. A lot of adjustments to the way that you think, your belief systems. Some of you could be completing a course of study, or maybe you are finished with something that you want to publish, such as a book, a writing project, a project for social media. Some of you may be even getting back from a trip or planning a trip, taking care of any kind of legal matters, passport, immigration paperwork. The first week of April, Mars is still in your 2nd house, so there could be a lot of focus on making money, impulsive spending, buying and selling of possessions. April 9th is when Mars moves into your 3rd house. This is going to really kick in that new beginning, but it may come with a lot of frustrations. April 13th, Mars will conjunct with Neptune, and this can give us paranoia, confusion, low energy. We can be feeling romantic or inspired to do something creative. But the middle of April is very much a testing period. April 19th, Mars will conjunct Saturn. This can bring up a lot of anger, frustration, but you may also have a lot of stamina to get a lot of things done. April 20th, Mercury conjunct Saturn, and Mercury will also conjunct Mars. This can bring up pessimism, negative thinking, arguments, disagreements. And this is your 3rd house. So this can be with siblings, with neighbors. You can just feel more pessimistic. The big focus this month is on skill sets, learning new skills, social media, getting out within your community, really exploring your town, maybe some of you taking some short trips. You have more ambition. The middle of the month can really bring in a lot of tests, a lot of frustrations, and those of you who have personal planets in Aries can feel this more intensely. April 17th, there is a new moon in your 3rd house. This can mean that your community is expanding. new neighbors. There's new developments in the life of your siblings. You're publishing your work in some way, getting on social media, building a website. This can be buying a new phone, a new computer. And some of you, this is going back to school, learning a new skill, or changing up your day-to-day routine. From the 1st until the 24th, Venus is in your 4th house. So the joy and happiness in the month of April is going to come through family, home projects, home renovations, redecorating your house, connecting with family members. On the 24th, Venus will move into your 5th house. So from the 24th, going into May, what's going to bring you a lot of joy is creative projects, romance, date night, hanging out with your children, just having more pleasure and fun. And that very last week of April is when Venus is going to meet up with Uranus. And for a lot of you, this could be a sudden romance, meeting somebody new, falling in love, starting some new creative hobbies that bring you a lot of joy. April 26th, Uranus re-enters Gemini, bringing in a lot of changes to the way that you have fun, the way that you do relationships, the way that you parent. Those of you who have personal planets from about 0 to 4 degrees of Gemini, Sagittarius, Virgo, or Pisces can have a lot of sudden changes in your life starting April, May, going into the summer, depending on what that planet rules. Over the next 8 years, Uranus is going to ask you to be more creative, bring in more romance to your life. A lot of you, this can mean children, pregnancy, starting a new creative business, investing your money in a different way. This is a longer transit. It will be mostly felt when Uranus is making contact with a personal planet, but over the next 8 years, there can be a lot of changes to your romantic relationships. Your hobbies, your passions can change. The way that you experience pleasure and fun can drastically change over the course of the next 8 years. But the huge focus in April is really communication, skill sets, learning, and travel. I hope that this was helpful for you, Aquarius. Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising. April 2nd, there is a full moon in Libra, and this is your 8th house of transformation. There could be an ending to a contractual agreement, such as a lease, a work contract, ending a contract with a therapist, an accountant. Some of you might even be achieving a financial goal that you have with a partner, a business partner, maybe even getting material rewards, gifts from parents, in-laws. This full moon is fantastic for releasing toxic patterns that are holding you back from living your best life. You might be going back over past hurts and really trying to find a lot of answers to that. The first week of April, Mars is still in your 1st house, so you can have more energy. You're motivated to initiate something new, but you can be a little bit more argumentative. April 9th, Mars moves into Aries, and this is really going to kick off that brand new beginning in your 2nd house that was first initiated in the beginning of the year when Saturn and Neptune met up at 0 degrees of Aries. All the planets are in your 2nd house. We have Sun, Mercury, Saturn, Neptune, Mars is going in there. This is where we also have a new moon, a new beginning. So this month, Pisces, you're focused on making money. There could be a lot of impulsive spending, a lot of shopping, buying and selling of possessions. There could also be loss or damage to possessions. Family arguments are possible because Mars is going to meet up with Saturn. It's going to meet up with Neptune. It's going to meet up with Mercury. April 13th, Mars will conjunct Neptune. This can really bring up a lot of confusion, a lot of paranoia. We could be feeling very much low energy from the 13th through the 15th. April 17th, there is a new moon in your 2nd house. This can mean a new income stream, so a new job, buying a possession that you have always wanted, a new source of income. For some of you, this can mean dental work, new beginnings in your financial life. Those of you who run a business, this could be a time when you change your prices for your services. This new moon is really going to highlight your self-esteem, self-worth issues. From the 19th until about the 23rd, there could be a lot of tests and frustrations for all of us. On the 19th, Mars will conjunct Saturn. This can bring up arguments, frustrations. This can give you a lot of stamina to get things done. On the 20th, Mercury will conjunct Saturn and Mercury will conjunct Mars. So there could be a lot of arguments, disagreements with family about money, possessions, responsibilities. So watch out for the middle of the month. There could be a lot of tests for everyone. The first 24 days of April, Venus is in your third house. So getting out in your community, getting on social media, connecting with friends, working on your skill sets is really going to bring you a lot of joy. From the 24th going into May, Venus will be in your fourth house of home and family. The last week of April, Venus will conjunct Uranus. This can mean sudden love, sudden relationship changes, changing up your surroundings, a move, changing something within your home. April 26th, Uranus moves back into Gemini. For the next 8 years, Uranus is in your 8th house. This can mean that over the next 8 years, there's a lot of changes within the home, within the family, where you live. Those of you who have personal planets from 0 to 4 degrees of Gemini, Sagittarius, Virgo, or Pisces could notice a lot of sudden changes happening in your life in April, in May, over the summer, depending on what that planet is, because Uranus just initiates brand new beginnings very quickly. A lot of times just out of the blue. Uranus will mostly be felt when it makes contact with a personal planet, but over the next 8 years, it is going to be in your fourth house. For a lot of you, this could be a move, new addition to the family, a change in the family, a change in the way that you live, interact with your family. Your mother could also be going through a lot of changes, initiating a lot of changes. The relationship with the mother and family members can change over the next 8 years. Uranus can bring in a lot of excitement and change into your home and family area, but it can also bring in a lot of unpredictability. It is a really long transit, but a lot of you can start feeling this in April, in May. Now, the big focus in April, though, is your second house. It's your self-worth. It's the money that you make. Shopping, spending money, maybe really working on your income, your budgeting. That's really going to be the focus of April. I hope that this was helpful for you.